Hello to all the people out there that are now together with me and my dear friend Valerie Dussaut from France. So we are calling from Slovenia to France. Hello, Valerie.
Hello, Katja. Hello to all these people. Bonjour.
Bonjour. Pozdrawiam. So this interview is going to be in English because I'm from Slovenia and Valerie is from France. So it's going to be in this international language. So we are going to wait maybe for a few minutes just to see if anyone is on our on my page, and if everything is okay. Can you see us? Can you hear us? Will be nice to know.
Let's just chat with us. You say hello.
Yeah, hello, Michaela. Is everything okay? Can you hear us?
I don't know.
Everything is okay. Thank you, Michaela. So, why I decided to invite my dear friend Valerie today? It's not so much about talking about the late situation in the world, but to talk about something different. We are going to talk about giftedness and spirituality combined. How can we combine those two great assets that we have inside us together and live fully and more integrated life? So let me introduce myself first. My name is Katja Ujčič. So I'm coming as from Slovenia. I was also recognized as a profoundly gifted person. My story is a little bit similar than Valerie's story that you will hear later on. I am an art therapist. I am a coach. I am therapist for gifted people, and I'm also yoga teacher and yoga therapist. So what is giftedness? We are going to discuss a little bit today, and what is spirituality and how we can work these two massive, vast fields of energy that we are more coming into ourselves and our full potential. So, Valerie Dussaut, welcome.
Thank you.
Let me introduce first Valerie. Valerie is a professor. She's a yoga therapist and a yoga teacher. She has her own yoga studio and a lot of clients. So how did we met? We met not coincidentally, but maybe with it coincidentally, in Brussels when we studied together. We are still studying yoga therapy. Yes. And for years, actually, we after years of our acquaintances, we find out that we are both gifted and had similar story of how to embrace giftedness, how to process giftedness, and how actually to live life with giftedness, which is not just fantastic gift, but it's also can be quite difficult issue in life, because we perceive life, we perceive information a little bit different, and that causes us, if we don't know what's going on inside us, hard times. Can you add something, Valerie, to your description?
Well, I think you said all. I'm sorry, my English is not so good, and I'm going to improve during the interview. But now, well, I still think in French, so I have to translate for a moment. Sorry. Well,
Yes.
I don't know what to add. It's okay. We met 4 years ago, maybe something like that, and
Something like that, yeah. Yeah.
It's only 1 year ago, about 1 year ago, that we discovered that we were both gifted, and that was a wonderful discovery. Yes.
Yes, it was wonderful discovery because more gifted people that are coming together, it's like meeting a true soul on the other side, because psychologically mirroring is the mirroring that is happening. It's so clear, it's so much clear, and it hits you so deep that it's very, very soothing to meet another gifted person. So this is why we are doing this fantastic interview with Valerie, so that all of you that are connected, that you will connect to everything what we will talk about, can have the same feeling as we did when we discover our similar gifts. So let's start, Valerie, maybe just with a simple question, or maybe it's not simple question, about your story, so that we know how everything started and how it developed through years. Can you share with us this, please?
Yes. I did not know that I was gifted as a child or a teenager. Well, it became obvious about 10 years or 12 years ago, something like that. I was between 30 and 35, something like that. And it was my psychotherapist that told me that I was gifted, because I didn't have a clue of that. Giftedness. I didn't even know that I was smart. It was at this time when he told me that, I just laughed. It was too much, and I didn't believe him. During 2 years, maybe I didn't believe him. I didn't want to recognize his assumptions.
For 2 years, yes, for 2 years.
So for 2 years, yes. And then by miracle, by hazard, read some article on giftedness, and it was so shocking. I was very shocked. It was, but it's me, all during all my all the time I was reading, and I was wow, it was so strong and so deep, and I was very moved. And then
you find yourself in these descriptions. Yes, very good. Yeah.
And then so I bought more books, and I went to meetings, and it was obvious. I met people like me. It was wow, but you too. It was it was miraculous. Yes. So that was about 12 years ago, and I was practicing yoga at this time, but I didn't at this moment practicing Vini yoga. And when I began to have a very designed practice just for me and all my background and so on, then I began, I don't know, no matter, to be able to shine.
Great word. Yes. To be able to shine.
To accept me in all that potentials, to show them also.
To show them, yes, great.
Yes. Because it was not so easy at first to know that I was maybe more intelligent and more sensitive and so on. And I had perception that people don't. That was very strange. For the 2 or 3 or two first years, I think it was very strange.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have questions?
Yes. Did you? How did you perceive actually yourself in childhood? What was your feelings that you are different, that you think different, that your opinion about the world is different, that you are like an alien, or this is very usually with gifted people?
So it was in my family. I think we are all gifted people. So and we are. I have 3 brothers and sisters, so that was normal for me in the family, in the core of the family. But with my schoolmates, it was very it was difficult because I was different, but I didn't know how I was different. I didn't know why I was weird for them, strange.
Yeah.
And, I didn't understand what was wrong. In fact, I didn't understand what was wrong, but I know now as an adult that I had perception that they didn't have, and I had the thought that they don't have, questions about universe or God or so on. At 6, that was
exactly.
right.
Yeah. This is usually what a gifted person would also ask him or herself. Yeah. Because he or she wants to know the ultimate truth of the universe, of myself, of yourself. It's some sort of like very, very deep longing for the truth, this immense curiosity. It's very, very common with gifted people. Did you experience something like this?
Yes, I was very, very curious. I asked a lot of questions to all people, and
did anyone answer it like properly, or they just said, "Oh no, just this is not the proper question"?
But I know I have lost friends like because of that curiosity. It was too. Katja, I don't hear you. I don't show you anymore.
Yes? No.
You are here.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, I can see you and hear you. Yes, I am always now, because I like to ask many questions to people, but I became a therapist, so it's okay.
Yes, now that you are more and more like anchored in your giftedness and your spirituality, which we will find that later on, that it's can be quite can have quite similar energy, yeah. But maybe before you were too intensive. I know it happened to me quite often, So I was so intensive in everything, in feelings, in my intelligence, intellectuality, in my imaginary fields, that it was just too much for people around me. Yeah, I mean, any people. I think also now sometimes I'm too much, but I'm okay, and people around me are accepting me, which makes me even more bigger channel for everything. Yeah. So I think this is very important to know that the intensity of giftedness can really burn the gifted person and all around the gifted person, people around him or her, because it's so strange for others. Yeah.
And it's really too much for most of them.
It's much, yeah.
Too much.
It's too much. So
I always had great expectations towards people. I didn't want to have small talk. I just wanted to have deep conversation about great things, and people don't. They don't know me. Why should they answer? You know.
But let me ask you something. Why you think you always wanted to know something more, something deeper? Why?
I don't know. It's just like as if I knew that there was always something in the core.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Yes. Something
And
that people had, which was not something to be ashamed of, but something interesting, you know?
Yeah.
I always thought that people are very much more interesting than what they are showing in reality. It was my first I don't know how do you say that in English? Impressions. Well, no.
Mm-hmm. So you had the feeling that you actually could somehow see behind the mask that they are wearing.
Maybe.
Yes, exactly. This is something Kazimierz Dabrowski, he was a Polish psychotherapist who actually studied a little bit, he studied a lot, but on whole world, he actually was almost alone in studying giftedness. And this is my big question to all the world, why giftedness is not supported enough, you know, because, you know, all the gifted people should be first recognized, you know, and this is like, unfortunately, there is no great tool to recognize giftedness. It's not like tests or something, you know, IQ tests are just a little bit part of this. And then actually taking care of these gifted people that can, you know, progress world and earth into the new life. So, and Kazimierz Dabrowski, actually, he talked about over-excitabilities. This means that gifted people can perceive information from outside and inside on a little bit different. I think that we can speak about some sort of different energy system in gifted people. And he also spoke about among five over-excitabilities, 5 giftedness, about emotional giftedness. And this is what you were also explaining, that someone who is emotionally gifted can feel a lot of their own emotions and complexity, like it's very overwhelming of these complex emotions inside, but also can feel the emotions of another person. Yes. And here's the catch. Yeah.
And it could be very hard because you really feel others' emotions, and well, if it's joy, it's okay. But it's not always joy.
Yes, but how do you feel, for example, my clients, my gifted clients, I need to explain them that when they feel energy does not need to be their energy. So they need to
Yes.
know which one is theirs and which one is energy of someone else. I think this is the very big trick in the emotional overexcitability, the giftedness of this emotional perception. Did you
And
yeah?
It's an education. You have to learn your own emotional state and how to deal with that, to be connected to yourself, to be able to connect to others and to share emotions with them, because we are always connected to others. That's normal. That's normal life.
Yeah, we have to stay open with our hearts and be connected, even if it's very virtual. Yeah. But but if we don't know that something is from another, can just be like a flood. So as you said, building up our own emotional structure, it's vital for a gifted person or for any empaths that have the same problem, let's say. Yeah. How did you manage to do this, Valerie?
I think it's yoga.
Yeah.
For more, for the essential, I've learned it through yoga. I learned to observe my emotion, to be connected with my emotions, to recognize them, to deal with them, to know how to let them go, how to handle them, to appreciate them like friends, because they are indicating something to me. So it's important to be connected to them.
Yes, exactly.
It's really through yoga and through a daily practice, which is designed for me. And in the same time, I've learned to be very grounded, to be more I became very, very stable, and it is very helpful.
Very helpful, especially in these times now.
Yes.
Very helpful to be grounded. Exactly. This is very good point. Yes. And you do this with yoga as a yoga therapist. Yeah. Great.
Yes, and I am teaching that now for my students, and a lot of my students are also gifted people, so I know how I can help them with all that.
You can recognize them as gifted?
Yes.
Yes, you can, because you can see beyond the mask.
Yes, and when you are talking with people, there's some connection in a higher level. I don't know how to explain that, but we can talk and laugh and cry together, and it's all normal. It's very simple. There's a connection to be in with family. Yes, one family.
Yeah.
So
like
it's
family.
very easy to talk and to have a lot of references also. And most of them are very creative persons, and you can see that very easily, in fact, when you are accustomed to that.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, I also see in my clients that who is gifted and where the giftedness is on which area, because it can be just on one area, for example, just on intellectual area, which means logic, mathematics, and so on. Can be just on emotional, as we mentioned. Can be psychosomatic, which means it's the physical body, it's a surplus of the energy. can be on sensual level, that people can really intensely detect and feel the taste or the touch or hearing. And imaginary is also very nice. I have a lot of imaginary giftedness. I can imagine everything, and a lot of people have imaginary giftedness, and a lot of children. And here is very, very important to know this, that imagination is not terrible, you know. It's actually really a gift to be imaginary gifted. You know, all these famous writers like J.K. Rowling or Charles Dickens, they imagine every character, and every character, they were like into the character so much and into the story with their whole soul. So this is imaginary giftedness, which is also part of the creative channel, you know.
Yes, it is. And what is very wonderful, that the more you are aware of your giftedness and
Yes.
all the potential, the more you are developing all those points.
Exactly.
And that's fantastic. And you are not always in your head. You can be in your body very strongly, and you can be in your creativity and so on. It's very interesting.
Yeah. But the first step is this recognition and accepting. I think that this is, I found that this in me, in my story is like this also, that I was actually tested as a profoundly gifted person, but this was just for 1 week, and then, you know, nothing happened. But then in one point, when I was a few years ago, when I was told from one therapist that this is nothing, that this is something just bullshitting, this giftedness, and I just clicked. I said, no, this is my calling. And now I have my own therapist for I own my own studio for a therapeutic studio for giftedness. So because I really wanted to have the same, that all these gifted people that are not recognized, but they think that something they can offer to the world, or already recognized gifted people, that they have a space somewhere to share and exactly to grow and to develop. This is the very, very important, as you said, because then you can really have this pillar inside you, and then just spread your energy in all possible direction. So, and how you think? How did you feel? Did you feel any rejections in your life before you find out that you were gifted? Sorry. So before you find out that you were a little bit different, that you perceive things a little bit differently, how did you feel rejected, or did you feel any shame?
I didn't feel shame, no, but I felt rejected. Yes.
Yeah.
It was something I didn't understand really. I didn't know why, but I felt I was different, but I did not know what was the difference, and I didn't like the same thing as most people, and I didn't like to do that or this, and it was difficult. It was difficult. Well, I had friends, I had a husband, I have a family, and so on. But with my colleague, for example, previously I was a teacher, and well, they felt I was cold, something like that, you know, because in fact I was shy, and I was very sharp also in my in my verb, and that was difficult. I didn't control all of that. Now, yes, of course, I learned.
Yeah.
Yes.
And how actually do you use your giftedness now?
I don't know if I use it. I am gifted. So it's something normal for me now. And wow, I just accept my intuitions. For example, I'm a very intuitive person, so I can very deeply connect to people. And as a therapist, it's interesting. Well, I am not. I am accepting to have a lot of interests different in life, because I'm, for example, a musician, and I'm playing the piano, and now I'm singing also, and I am studying every day. In fact, because I know that I have to study to be nourished. In fact, is something very important. It was very important to me to recognize that I have to be nourished intellectually, and with beauty also every day of my life, to be to feel good. And have to meditate a lot also to feel good. I know that. To be alone a lot also. And it's something that it took time to take place. And now it's like that. My life is like that. I'm working with people in yoga, and it's really nourishing me, but I have to have a lot of time alone for me to read, to play music, to be in silence.
It's so great insights. Great insights, because exactly the food that you mentioned, that all intellectual all things that are nourishing us intellectually, emotionally also. In your case, beauty, it's so profoundly true. It's actually what we all need to find out, that these are also our food that we need to nourish, not just eating or money or all this. Of course, these are necessities in life, but it's really nice. It's not enough for be a whole person, integrated person. Yes. And so I just want to say to all the listeners, if you have any questions for me and for Valerie, you can write down so we can answer. You are warmly invited if you are interested in giftedness and spirituality. So yes, you are actually very intuitive person. When did you find out this, that you're an intuitive person?
Since birth.
Since birth, immediately, like when you
no, I didn't know what was intuition, but I remember very, very strong spiritual experiences when I was 2 or 3 years old. Yes, I was very deeply connected. And then when I grew up, when I was a teenager, I cut on that for a time because I was a teenager. So it was time for me to be with people, to be with other teenagers. That was normal. And
this is normal, Mm-hmm.
And then the first part of my adulthood life, it came back, but first I didn't want, I didn't accept all that. And when I accepted all that, wow, it comes back. It came fully back. And now, yes, I'm very connected, but I know how to protect me now. That's
Right.
interesting. I can say, no, I don't want. I just want to be alone, for example.
Yes.
But my intuition is, well, it's very useful in life to be intuitive. Because you know things, even if you don't know how you know, but you know, and you can ask questions to just to check, and well, I think I have the intuition, no, and say, do you think is it correct for you, and so on, and often it is, not always.
And you use it, yeah, and you use it also with your clients, yeah?
I use it with my client, and I use it always, well, more and more often now, because I'm aware of my intuition is always right. Now I know that. So when I have a decision to make, I follow it. I know when it's right for me or not, when it's correct for me or not. Yeah. Even though when maybe there is a sort of I don't remember the English word for that. Wait.
We are waiting.
Fight. An inside fight. Because maybe I want to be loyal to an old friendship or something like that. And there's a time I know, for example, I don't have to be with this person anymore. It's not good for me anymore, and maybe
yeah,
when there's a fight inside me, I know that, well, I have to let it go.
Yes, these are very, very good tool, and a gift is actually intuition. And I think that slowly maybe the world is becoming more open. I hope it will be even more open towards that kind of gifts, because and also towards the spirituality, but in a way not as a religion, but mostly as an inner traveling to our inner world, to our subconscious, to actually have an inner development and become more stable person, more integrated person that cannot be in panic, for example, and in fear and full of guilt. Life is much more easier when you are stable, and then all the gifts are started to open. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
So
and they can really be gift, because when I remember when I first learned that I was gifted and that I took consciousness of all the stuff. I was afraid of that.
Yeah.
And I thought it was not gift to be so hypersensitive, for example, because you are smelling all the odors and the good ones. And it was bad, and so on, And no, it's really a gift. Yes. I had to learn.
You had
also.
to learn.
And
exactly.
being more rooted, being more grounded and stable is very much more easy.
So what could be the new advice for the people that, for example, are gifted that they know that they are gifted, and maybe also for the people who does not know that they are gifted, but they have this. I set my word for this. It's like a little spark, something. It's like a will inside the energy, our energy, that actually it's constantly. It's like a vertical power that it's saying, no, you have to go further, look further, and they are not recognized as gifted, but by that description they are. So what is your advice? What would you tell them?
For me, I just can for me, it was very good to have somebody to support me during the process. It was my psychotherapist at first, and then my yoga teachers, and it was very good for me. That's something interesting, because if you're there's something that I've met a lot with gifted people, because I met a lot of them, because I went to meetings 3 or 4 years. Every month we had meetings, and many of them are thinking that they all can do alone.
Yes, exactly.
Because as children, we are very alone.
Yeah.
Often.
And we can manage everything then,
And we have to manage everything. But when we take consciousness of all that, it's good to have somebody to support. Because there's a mirroring effect that we can go deeper in the situation, and we can more easy let go things that are not useful for us. For example, all the suffering, which is not something little. All the traumas. And it's the first advice, and the second one is to be aware that we are not only a head. And the more we are in our body, the more we are living fully in our body, the more we are doing things in our body, the more stable we'll be, and the more easy we'll be live, and the less we will think that we are alien.
That we are alien, exactly. Yes, I had a similar process, like a very deep feeling of being alien, and all the body work, especially yoga therapy, helped me really immensely. I cannot describe how healing this Vinyasa method is. So yeah.
And yes, can I add something?
Of course.
Just well, I've forgotten. No. Now it's very easy to be connected with all people. I can have small talk and appreciate them, because I know there is something deeper, but it's not so.
Yes, exactly.
I am perceived now as a warm person, not a cold person. I am.
Oh, wow. Such a big difference.
It's easy for me to meet people, to go and have a conversation with person I don't know, and I'm not shy anymore. And
it's like you become more human.
More? I don't know. I don't
more
hear.
Human.
More human. Yes. I was human, but yes, yes, I
you
feel
were. I know
really
you were.
gifted with all people now. I know, because gifted or not gifted, we are all human beings, and we are all we are going through all the same things in life: grief and love and suffering and anger and fears and so on. Everybody go through that. We are just human.
Yes, and we need to
Not
support each other.
superiors.
Yeah, and we need to support. We need to support each other. I think this is the big lesson of this period now of the humanity. It's the compassion and how to support each other. So I wanted to speak a little bit with you, because you are a gifted and spiritual person, about my feelings. And my feelings are that the new consciousness is rising. I would also be very bold and say that the giftedness is the new consciousness, where wisdom and compassion and grace will flourish and be and help among each other will prevail. But also on the other side, creativity, innovation, intuition, and that this could be a very, very good platform for us, for human beings.
Yes.
How do you feel about it? Do you have any intuitive insights about this?
It's something as if we now can connect to each other at the soul level, you know?
Yes.
And to be very helpful in the world.
This is very, very, I think that this is very big issue now, and to be helpful to each other. Yeah. Yes. We need to realize that. Yeah.
Yes. Well, I agree with you.
Yeah. Well, I wish to thank you, my dear Valerie, for this fantastic conversation. I think we all enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much. I learned even more about you and about how giftedness and spirituality works. And thank you again so much. And I am sending all the love and healing energy to France and to all the people that are listening, also to Slovenia, yes, to all the people that are listening. And thank you again. You were fantastic, Valerie.
Thank you, my dear Katja, for your sharing. It's so. Thank you to everybody, and I wish to wish you good health and take good care of you and yours. Take care.
Namaste.
Namaste.